You're watching Nightline and I'm Adrian Seet. The headlines. 50 million ringgit aid for flood victims in Kelantan. And Israel presses on with intensified attacks as Gaza death toll hits 210 in the past 24 hours. Thank you for joining us. Dato Sri Anwar Ibrahim has announced a 50 million ringgit allocation as an initial assistance for flood victims in Kelantan. The Prime Minister said each family will receive 1,000 ringgit, while additional aid will be given based on the extent of damages and losses suffered due to the disaster.
Bagi mangsa-mangsa yang di PPS dan juga di kawasan-kawasan lain, itu setakat yang kita luluskan dengan peruntukan awal daripada melalui NADMA 50 juta ringgit, itu terus kepada penduduk-penduduk atau keluarga terlibat. Memang RM1,000 satu keluarga. Tak ada yang bertanyakan dulu ada tambahan. Ya, tambahan setelah dikenal pasti kerosakan dan kerugian yang disahkan oleh pegawai-pegawai yang dipertanggungjawabkan.
Anwar said this at a media conference after visiting the SMKA Lati PPS in Pasir Mas, Kelantan on Thursday. He went there to see and hear for himself the problems faced by the flood victims placed at the school. Anwar arrived in the state earlier at about noon to personally check on the current flood situation affecting the state. He was also given a briefing regarding the latest developments in the flood situation, the operations carried out by the security forces, and the assistance provided to the affected victims. Also present during the Prime Minister's visit were Menteri Besar Datuk Mohammad Nasruddin Daud and Natural Resources and Environmental Sustainability Minister Nik Nazmi Nik Ahmad. Anwar also expressed his gratitude to all involved in aiding the flood victims, including those from the federal and state governments. Meanwhile, as part of the federal government's ongoing commitment to finding a solution to the flood issue in Kelantan, a total of 5 new projects aimed at addressing the problem are expected to commence the procurement process next year. Anwar said that these projects would involve a total estimated cost of 910.52 million ringgit. According to the Prime Minister, the federal government has approved an immediate allocation of 6 million ringgit to construct a temporary embankment, including the spillway structure for the Sungai Golo Integrated River Basin Development Project, PLSB, to solve the problem of stagnant floodwaters in Rantau Panjang. An additional allocation of 800 million ringgit has also been approved to accelerate the implementation of Phase 2 of the Sungai Golo PLSB project.
Saya dapat persetujuan daripada Kerajaan Negeri Kelantan atau Menteri Besar supaya menyegerakan proses pengambilan tanah supaya Kerajaan Persekutuan dan Kementerian Sumber Asli dan JPS boleh menyegerakan projek itu secepat mungkin, mungkin awal tahun depan.
Anwar said this after inspecting the Lubuk Jong Bridge to check the impact of the floods in the area. It was reported that a part of the embankment of the Sungai Golo PLSB in Rantau Panjang collapsed early Tuesday due to strong currents caused by floods, causing water from Sungai Lancang to flow rapidly towards Sungai Golo. The Sungai Golo PLSB project, involving an allocation of over 2 billion ringgit, is aimed at protecting 31,000 residents and 66,000 hectares of land in Rantau Panjang from flooding. The Prime Minister also stated that the Sungai Golo Rantau Panjang Bridge project will help reduce the floods in both Malaysia and Thailand. This is because the project also involves the deepening and widening of Sungai Golo that separates Malaysia with Thailand.
Dan kita memutuskan untuk menyegerakan pelaksanaan projek Sungai Golo Rantau Panjang. Kerana projek ini bagi kita penting, bukan soal perjalanan pengangkutan dua negara. Kami akan mengedarkan dan mengurangkan tekanan banjir sebelah Naratiwat saya fikir dan juga sebelah Kelantan, khususnya Rantau Panjang.
Anwar, in his recent Facebook post, shared his meeting with Thailand Prime Minister Srettha Thavisin in Phuket on Wednesday. During his informal meeting with Srettha, they discussed several important matters relating to Malaysia and Thailand. Presently, several regions in southern Thailand are also facing severe flooding. In the meantime, the number of flood evacuees being housed at 103 relief centres in 4 states has dropped slightly to 23,385 on Thursday night. This compared to 28,032 recorded earlier in the evening. According to the Info Bencana JKM website, Kelantan still had the highest number of evacuees at 19,716 as of 11 p.m. A total of 52 relief centres were still open in several districts in Kelantan, with some centres reaching full capacity. In Terengganu, the situation continues to improve as the number of evacuees housed in the relief centres has decreased to 3,392 from 6,289 in the afternoon. Pahang also saw a slight drop in the number of flood evacuees from 214 to 207. For Johor, the number of people displaced by floods dropped to 63 from 214 at all 3 relief centres in Segamat. In Terengganu, the body of an 11-year-old boy who went missing after falling into a river in Kampung Tok Hakim on Wednesday has been found. Kuala Terengganu Fire and Rescue Station Chief Roziza Abni Haja said the victim's body was recovered on Thursday morning at about 11 a.m. The Fire and Rescue Department team found the body of Muhammad Haras Ilman Muhammad Shahril Ridwan about 30 meters from where he was last seen and at the depth of about 1.5 meters. The body was found face down at the bottom of the river, and the rescue team had difficulty finding the body due to the weather conditions and the full undergrowth of the riverbed. The victim's body was then handed over to the police for further action. In the incident, Muhammad Haras Ilman was reported to have gone missing after he slipped and fell into the river while playing with his brother, 9-year-old Muhammad Firas Wafi, and a friend at about 4:46 p.m. A total of 72 personnel from various agencies, including the Fire and Rescue Department's K9 unit, took part in the search operation. Meanwhile, in Johor, the body of a missing Singaporean man has been found some 5 kilometres away off Desaru Coast in Bandar Penawa on Thursday. Penawa Fire and Rescue Department Operations Commander Masri Ibrahim said the 49-year-old victim, identified as Isaac Kelvin Tan Lee Tong, was found at 5:30 a.m. by holiday makers at a beach resort. The body was then sent to the Kota Tinggi Hospital for post-mortem. It was reported on Wednesday that the victim and his 16-year-old son, Gabriel Ian Tan Wei Pin, were hit by waves while frolicking at the water's edge near a beach resort before being swept away. Members of the public managed to rescue his son.
Hipokrasi terus dimanifestasi. Transisi, revolusi, integriti. Episod tragis dan emosi. Memacu matlamat, mengukir legasi. Imbasan 2023, Sabtu 30 Disember, hanya di TV3. Dan stream HD secara langsung ditonton.
Efforts are underway to complete the upgrade of Pasar Jalan Raja Boat, also known as Pasar Chowkit in Kuala Lumpur, that has been in limbo for a decade. Titi Wangsa MP Datuk Sri Johari Abdul Ghani said he had asked the Kuala Lumpur City Hall DBKL to expedite the project and the relocation of the traders.
Benda ni DBKL kena tengok. Okay. So, projek ni dah 10 tahun. Jadi dia telah menjejaskan pendapatan penjaja. Jadi kalau kita boleh siap ni, benda semua ni clear, orang datang nak pergi pasar pun senang daripada compare yang tempat sementara ni. Jadi itulah kita nak pastikan benda itu siap.
Johari said that following his visit to the project site on Thursday, he was informed by the contractor that gradual relocation of the traders was being finalized. However, he highlighted two issues that have surfaced, requiring the intervention of the DBKL to resolve the matter. According to Johari, there is a likelihood of a prolonged water problem for the market due to insufficient water pressure at the Jalan Raja Alang area, affecting the water supply to the upcoming Pasar Baru Rajabut. There is also the issue with the sewerage system that could cause discomfort to market goers and traders. The project is expected to be completed by July 2025 and would feature 560 stalls as well as a police station. Visit Melaka Year 2024 is expected to achieve the state government's target of welcoming 8 million tourists next year. Melaka Chief Minister Datuk Sri Abdul Rauf Yusof said around 55,000 vehicles enter Melaka every day based on statistics or studies conducted every week, especially during the school holiday season. Speaking to the media after appearing on TV3's Malaysia Hari Ini MHI program on Thursday morning, Abdul Rauf said 7 lucky draw prizes, each worth more than RM100,000, awaits visitors in Melaka next year.
Kita ada 80 buah hotel yang telah menandatangani perjanjian untuk bersama-sama mempromosikan Tahun Melaka ini, dan datanglah ke Melaka, pilih hotel yang bekerjasama untuk tuan-tuan dapat menerima voucher, cabutan dan bertuah sebuah kereta.
He also said these lucky draws would be conducted every 3 months during the year, where participation is subject to certain conditions. The Chief Minister also said that the Visit Melaka Year 2024 celebration will kick off on Friday, together with the International Islamic Carnival to be held at the Hang Jebat Stadium grounds. He also highlighted the New Year's Eve celebration and the launch of Visit Melaka Year 2024 that would take place at the Pangkalan Ramajati with fireworks and performances by local artists from Melaka, such as Zamani, Ziana Zain and Anwar Zain. Kim Jong-un orders military to ramp up war preparations. News from the foreign front when we return.
Jangan pandang ringan dan mudah. Anggap batuk awak ini serius. Woods ubat batuk dengan rasa pudina. Memberi sensasi kelegaan di kerongkong. Berkesan melegakan batuk. Woods ubat batuk yang saya percaya.
Karnival Jom Heboh 2024 akan ke Kuching, Sarawak. Peluang terbaik untuk kembangkan jenama, promosi dan bisnes anda dengan pelbagai aktiviti menarik. Hubungi kami sekarang di maklumat tertera untuk menyertai. Jom, jom, jom!
Kerana kuasa, nyawanya dipertaruhkan.
सेनापति शिवरत पहुंचे नहीं है या मेरे प्रिय भाई सुषम ने पहुंचने नहीं दी?
ये हो सकता, इस सिंहासन में मैं बैठूंगा.
Dan kerana cinta, prinsipnya tercabar.
जैसे तुम्हारा ही अंग. क्योंकि युद्ध रणभूमि में लड़े जाते हैं परंतु जीते.
Asuka, Sabtu 30 Disember 2 petang. Di panggung Sabtu TV3 dan stream sekarang melalui Tonton. Malam tahun baru tak tahu nak buat apa? Jom tengok Cerita Ahad.
Sebenarnya Nani tu dah lama mati dari sini.
Pening saya tu.
Mak El, saya Nani. Saya hidup lagi.
Zaman sekarang ni, saka pun nak viral juga
Kenapa aku kat sini ni? Mungkin ini kerja saka. Atau kau buang tabiat.
Bergelak tawa di Cerita Ahad TV3 dan stream sekarang melalui Tonton.
We're back with news from the foreign front. At least 210 Palestinians were killed in the past 24 hours, and many others were left wounded during Israel's relentless attacks as the Zionist regime's war on Gaza entered its 83rd day. According to officials, at least 50 Palestinians were killed in Israel's latest strikes in Gaza's Beit Lahia, Khan Yunis and Maghazi areas, while another attack near El Amal City Hospital in the southern city of Khan Yunis claimed the lives of at least 10 more Palestinians. Over in the West Bank, the Zionist regime launched its most intense raid, targeting Palestinian money exchange outlets. It was reported that Israeli forces used tear gas, stun grenades and explosions during the raids, resulting in the death of at least one Palestinian in the overnight assault. To date, the death toll in both Gaza and the occupied West Bank has surged to more than 21,110 Palestinians, with 55,243 others injured. Meanwhile, shrouded bodies filled the Nassau hospital's corridors and emergency rooms, where wounded children were being treated by the medics.
ما فيش يعني عندنا حماس ولا في عندنا إشي نقول يمكن عشان حماس كنا متشرشطين لما اجينا يا ريتنا ما اجينا يا ريتنا ضلينا بغزة ما هنا مصابين وغزة مصابين يا ريتنا ضلينا بغزة.
Back home, in affirming its dedication to humanitarian causes, Media Prima Berhad, MPB, through the Media Prima Palestinian Humanitarian Fund, has donated over 500,000 ringgit to the non-governmental organization NGO Humanitarian Care Malaysia, MyCare. This substantial contribution is directed towards providing essential relief to Palestinians adversely affected by the actions of the Israeli military in Gaza, highlighting Media Prima's unwavering commitment to humanitarian endeavors. The General Manager of Media Prima Group Corporate Communications and the Group Chairman's Office, Azlan Abdul Aziz, represented the donors and formally handed over the contribution cheque to a member of MyCare's Board of Trustees, Dr. Fauziah Muhammad Hassan.
Tabung Media Prima ini kita khususkan kepada separuh untuk keperluan ubat-ubatan dan juga keperluan peralatan perubatan seperti disposable dan sebagainya. Separuh lagi tu kita gunakan untuk membeli makanan-makanan yang kita pakai makanan-makanan asas seperti gandum, beras, makanan dalam tin pack dan sebagainya.
In addition to the donation, Fauziah disclosed that MyCare is actively working to secure an ambulance and transportation for Gazans, ensuring access to medical assistance in Egypt if needed. She also mentioned that MyCare plans to purchase 500 tents and blankets to function as temporary shelters, especially during the winter season. Singapore households are preparing for a sales tax hike set to take effect in the new year as the government bolsters its coffers in anticipation of an expected surge in social spending in the rapidly aging city-state in the years ahead. The goods and services tax levied on everything from groceries to diamond rings will be increased by 1 percentage point to 9% on Monday, the second phase in a two-stage rate hike. Now, prior to this, the sales tax for this year was raised to 8% from the previous 7% that had remained unchanged for 15 years. The hikes came on the top of already rising living costs, prompting opposition lawmakers to call for a delay in the rise. Core inflation in Singapore moderated to 3.2% in November from a peak of 5.5% in January and February, but remained stubborn, with the central bank expecting it to average between 2.5 and 3.5% in 2024. North Korean leader Kim Jong-un on Thursday urged his party to accelerate war preparations, including its nuclear program. Pyongyang's official Korean Central News Agency reported that Kim had ordered its military to further accelerate the war preparations across sectors, including nuclear weapons and civil defense. He also stressed that the military situation on the Korean peninsula had become extreme due to unprecedented anti-North confrontations with Washington. The North has been expanding ties with Russia, amongst others, as Washington accuses Pyongyang of supplying military equipment to Moscow for the use in its war with Ukraine. Comments came just a week after Kim warned Pyongyang would not hesitate to launch a nuclear attack if provoked with nukes. Football legend dies at 75. The details after this breather.
Kepingan daging empuk dihiasi bawang segar, bertambah nikmat dengan sos lada hitam kegemaran ramai. Prosperity Burger kembali.
어떻게 됐어? 네가 지금 그 타이밍이 아닌 것 같은데.
Seronoknya layan oval sampai pagi.
보고?
개판이네!
님은 가족도와 질량이 비례한다.
조문 왔던 걔네들 왔다 가고 그랬잖아.
Mak turun aplikasi tonton, semua favourite anda ada di sini.
Kakak, kenapa muka macam tu nampak sedih lah?
No, bukan sedih. I'm just curious, to find out how is it like, for you and your husband to have to share your marriage and have it be on blast on social media.
Oh, itu. Whenever people meet me in real life, Mariam, you're so pretty. In video, it's not.
It doesn't mean that because I film you in ugly. You are already ugly without makeup. That's the thing.
Rizal, I have this mug that I can throw across the table, okay? Live stream in HD on Tonton.
On to sports. One of the stars of the Malaysian team who played in the 1972 Munich Olympic Games, Shaharuddin Abdullah, passed away at the age of 75 at the Taiping Hospital on Thursday. The legend, also known as the Black Cat and sharpshooter, passed away at about 5:07 a.m. due to asthma, a condition he had been suffering from over the past 2 years. The last rites were held at the Kampung Bukit Jana Nurul Hidayah Surau before being laid to rest at the Kemunting Muslim Cemetery after the Zohor prayers. Hailed from Batuath, Pulau Pinang, Shaharuddin was Malaysia's first goal scorer at the 1972 Munich Olympic Games in Germany and is remembered as one of the pivotal characters in the country's football history. Shaharuddin, who wore the Malaysian jersey from 1967 to 1981 and won bronze in the 1974 Asian Games in Tehran, Iran, leaves behind 7 children. He is also the younger brother of the late Malaysian captain Dato' Namat Abdullah, who died in December 2020 from stage 4 colon cancer. We continue with the AFC Cup. Dato' Ong Kim Swee's Sabah FC are set to face MacArthur FC of Australia away in the semi-finals of the ASEAN Zone on February the 13th, 2024. Through the official draw at the AFC House in Kuala Lumpur on Thursday, another semi-final in the zone involves a clash between Australia's Central Coast Mariners FC and Phnom Penh Crown FC. The winners of the semi-finals will then compete in a single-leg final in the ASEAN Zone on February 22nd, 2024, with the hosting club to be determined in a subsequent draw. The winner of the ASEAN Zone final will join the winners of Groups D, E and I, namely Odisha FC, FK Abdish Atakan and Taichung Futuro FC in the Inter-Zone semi-finals. The two-leg Inter-Zone semi-finals are scheduled for March 6th, 7th and March 13th and 14th, with the final also to be played over two legs set to take place on April the 17th and 24th. The winners of the Inter-Zone decider will face the West Zonal champions in the AFC Cup final on May the 5th. After this short breather, 133 counts of CBT. Clerk pleads not guilty.
Ha, tengok. Inilah bukti ramai yang pilih merah.
Dah jelas lagi nyata.
Dengan jumlah pendengar 3.73 juta. Menjadikan Hot FM Station radio nombor 1 Malaysia.
Joji, mana?
Sekali lagi terima kasih menjadikan Hot FM Station radio nombor 1 Malaysia.
Mereka hanya ada 7 hari untuk menyempurnakannya.
Are you with me? Let's bring it in! Come on! Let's do it!
Mengubah mimpi menjadi realiti dalam satu misi membina semula rumah yang baru.
Beautiful village we're making.
Got the custom Thailand cabinets going in right now. Love it! Looking good!
Extreme Makeover Home Edition setiap Sabtu 12.30 hari. Stream sekarang ditonton dan di TV3.
Satu untuk aku. Aku nak dengar gosip ni.
Nak tahu apa yang terjadi sepanjang tahun 2023?
Jangan lupa saksikan Melodi Terangat 2023.
Hari Ahad 12.30 tengah hari hanya di TV3. 2 untuk kau.
Nak dengar gosip.
Welcome back. A total of 77 Malaysians were arrested abroad for various drug offences from 2021 to November of this year. Bukit Aman Narcotics Crime Investigation Department and CID Director Datuk Sri Muhammad Kamarudin Maddin said of that number 32 were arrested for drug smuggling in 2021 and 17 were arrested for the same offence in 2022. He added in a statement on Thursday that 28 individuals were also arrested at the entry points of various countries after they were influenced into becoming drug mules during the first 11 months of this year. He also warned that drug syndicates would influence and manipulate Malaysians by offering, through social media, lucrative wages of between 5,000 and 10,000 ringgit to smuggle drugs abroad. This situation was very worrying, and police called on all Malaysians to be vigilant and not be deceived by drug syndicates that offer high rewards for victims to smuggle drugs abroad. In Pulau Pinang, an accounts clerk has pleaded not guilty to 133 counts of criminal breach of trust involving 445,815 ringgit belonging to a company. 41-year-old Teh Ya Ling made the plea after the charges were read to her before Judge Sharmila Abdul Samad at the Georgetown Sessions Court on Thursday. Teh, who was working for a gold and jewellery assaying company, allegedly committed the offences by transferring the company's money into her own bank account. All the offences were committed in the company premises at Jalan Sungai Timur Laut district between October 2019 and May 2021. She was charged under the Penal Code, which carries a maximum jail term of 14 years, whipping and a fine upon conviction. Sharmila set bail at 66,500 ringgit with one surety for all the charges and ordered the accused to surrender her passport to the court until the disposal of the case. The court then fixed February 9th for the next mention. As we wrap up Nightline this time around, let's take a look at the Sydney to Hobart yacht race where Law Connect pulled off a remarkable comeback to secure the reigning Line Honours victory, narrowly beating defending champion and favourite Endu Comanche by mere seconds. With that, I'm Adrian Seet. Thank you for watching Nightline and stay safe, Malaysia.